Here in last week, but he's here and ready to defend his Madison title. But Mike Hansen and Kellogg's Tony the Tiger is looking to be the spoiler and win on his home turf. ESPN presents the RC Cola 1992 Unlimited Hydroplane Series. The fourth stop on this series, the Budweiser Indiana Governor's Cup, sponsored by RC Cola. Give me the taste of my RC. By Eat Snacks. Remember, not all snacks are created equal. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
For the 42nd consecutive year, the Unlimited Hydroplanes visit the town of Madison, Indiana, on the banks of the Ohio River. Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Hendrick, along with Dick Crippen. And Dick, the competition keeps getting better.
It certainly does, and we have a full complement of competition, 10 boats, even the boat that last week went over, Mark Evans in the American Spirit. If you remember, he rode the rooster tail right up into the air, did a little bit of a dance on the back end, and the boat rolled over on its top. Mark was trapped underneath. He got out. He's okay. The boat was damaged, but they got the money and put the boat back together. It is here in Madison. Now, you know, that boat has had some bad luck last week, but a boat that's had bad luck consistently, although it hasn't wrecked, and it's improved every race, is the Winston Eagle. Now, the owner of that boat, Steve Woomer, is hoping this week is going to change all that.
Yeah, that's for sure. The Winston Eagles had a little hard luck this year so far, but hopefully we'll be able to change that around tomorrow.
Is this the kind of course where you can change it around?
Well, you never know until you get out there and you start racing, and I don't really think it's a course that has any determination of what you're going to do out there or if you can get the monkey off your back. But you just got to keep going race by race and throw the stones and see how they fall.
For the fourth consecutive race of the RC Cola Unlimited Hydroplane Series, Miss Budweiser with Chip Hanauer led all the qualifiers with a Winston Select Award, 163.043 mile an hour, a new course record. He broke his old one set back in 1988 by about 17 mile an hour.
White flag lap for Heat 1A. It is the Budweiser in lane number 2 as they come up. Lane number 1 is the Tide boat, and he's off the pace trying to catch. Budweiser's cut across the course. Tide cannot get out of the rooster tail. George Woods Jr. went right into the rooster tail of the Miss Budweiser as she cut in. Now he's got the cockpit canopy up. It looks like the boat is okay. He is not signaling.
Slow motion, you can barely see in the rooster tail under the bridge right there. We'll highlight it. There's the Tide as the Budweiser cuts to the left. This was not a start. They're still on the white flag lap, and there's been some damage sustained. Now, on the restart, it'll be Kellogg's, Miss Budweiser, the T-Plus, and Winston Eagle with the Tide on the beach.
Coming down, they get the green flag. It is going to be the Budweiser out in front, and Chip Hanauer wastes no time at all, taking on the Winston Eagle on the far outside. In the middle is the T-Plus boat, driven by Stephen David. Into turn number 1, and it's a very, very tight turn here in Madison, Indiana. The Miss Budweiser holding beautifully. You could see her rock just a bit as she hit the tide change. Now she comes straight on out on the back stretch. Chip Hanauer's got it going, and he better keep going fast because the Winston Eagle is coming up on him in second place.
Well, Dick, he is going fast. His first lap was a new 2.5 mile competition lap record, 146.938 for the Miss Budweiser, beating Chip Hanauer's old record set right here on this course by about 17 mile an hour.
Jim, another unique thing about this course we can point out, it is underneath a bridge for 2 of the turns, and they have to be very careful under there and make sure they navigate correctly. The checkered flag is going to be coming out for the Miss Budweiser. Winston Eagle still trying to catch him as he comes out down onto the front straight. Third place boat is the T-Plus. Following Stephen David out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, is the Tony the Tiger boat. Mike Hansen from Madison, Indiana, the host boat for this event. He is in Kellogg's Tony the Tiger. Here's the checkered flag flying now for the Miss Budweiser. Chip Hanauer brings it home. a victory in the first heat of the day.
And along with it, Dick, a new 7.5-mile average speed heat record of 143.5.
Jim, we're getting word in that there was apparently an official mix-up, and the Miss Budweiser was told to turn into the infield. He turned right in front of the Tide. There is damage to that boat. The Miss Budweiser, Winston Eagle, Miss T Plus, and Kellogg's fourth. The Tide did not start that race. We'll be back with more from the RC Cola Unlimited Hydroplane Racing for 1992 in Madison, Indiana in just a moment.
Today we're going to prepare a spicy little thing. You're going to like it, I guarantee. Took all the hottest things in your kitchen and put them in one big pot. Ooh, that looked good already. Took the whole thing and lowered it slow like in the water. Now you stir real fast. And just watch it cook.
I'm Jim Hendrick, along with Dick Crippen, back here in Madison, Indiana, on a warm, hazy day. Let's go down to the Sun Deck Racing Team dock. Dick Crippen is with the driver, Jerry Hopp.
They always talk about the nice folks that we run into on the unlimited hydroplane circuit right here in Madison, Indiana. You had some nice folks come forward from Holset.
Yeah, Holset came forward and helped us out with some turbos back east in Detroit and Evansville. We sort of wrecked some of them, and they came up with the parts and got us going again, and then they were good enough to come to this race and actually give us some free brand new ones, so I think we're going to put a new sticker on the boat.
Jerry Hopp melted a piston in his final remaining engine yesterday. It's doubtful if they'll run today, but they have 52 consecutive appearances, which is a new record. An upside-down appearance by our construction last week left a wet Mark Evans. Dick Crippen's with him now.
Last time we saw Mark Evans a little bit wet and a little bit downtrodden. Your boat had been kind of messed up, but here a week later, you're ready to go.
Oh, yeah, we got her all put back together thanks to my crew. Did a great job getting her put back together, and the Ross Perot people pitched in a little money and helped us to get back up here to Madison and defend our cup.
Save that hat, Mark. It's going to become a collector's item. The wellness plant with Jack Shaver Jr. has not been lowered into the water. Neither has Jerry Hopp's Miss Sundeck of Michigan. 130.4 was qualifying for Nate Brown in the U99 Miss Rock for this race. Mitch Evans in a piston packer in the Cooper's Express at 115.5. Top qualifier in this heat, 133.1 for Mark Evans. So we're down to a three-boat field. Call them across the line, Dick.
Three boats on the far inside. It is going to be Nate Brown, the rookie driver. In the middle, it's Mitch Evans. In Cooper's Express, Mark Evans, his brother on the outside in the American Spirit. You saw the green flag. It's a clean start. All three boats underway. Nate Brown, the rookie driver, trying to hold the lead as he goes into turn number one. He'll have the advantage of the shorter course, but on the far outside, Mark Evans, American Spirit, coming on strong. It looks like Mark Evans by about a nose. He is going to try to take the lead.
And Mark Evans is a real gamer, racing without his cowling that was damaged last week in that flip. They'll get to go back home to Seattle after this race, and there'll be some repairs made.
Mark Evans in the lead. Mitch Evans in the consistent Cooper's Express boat holding on to third place. Mark Evans now looking up at the starter's tower to see if he sees the checkered flag flying. He does. He's really got his foot in it. Nate Brown on the inside trying to catch him, but he does not do it. The American Spirit, sponsored by Ross Perot for president, takes the win. Miss Rock is second. Cooper's Express third. Miss Wellness Plan and the Miss Sundeck did not start. Perhaps the largest crowd in Madison racing history assembled on the banks of the Ohio River, all wondering, can Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser make it 4 in a row?
So far, a perfect year, but do you dare have that wish list extended to 4 in a row, Bernie Little?
Well, sure, we really do. Driving into the pits this morning, I was saying to myself that we got to do 4 in a row. We just really need to do that for my crew. They've been doing such an outstanding job. As you can see, the Miss Budweiser qualifying 1 and 2 with the 1 and 2 boat. They're just outstanding. So everything's been going real good, and we're on a roll, so we ought to put this into bed.
Well, let's see what happens in Heat 2A. In lane number 1, it'll be the U2 T Plus Stephen David. Lane number 2, the U1 Miss Budweiser, Chip Hanauer. Lane 3 will be the U6, the hometown boat, Kellogg's Tony the Tiger, Mike Hansen. The U10, Winston Eagle. In lane 4, Mark Tate. And on the far outside, U8, the Tide, George Woods Jr., hopefully with all repairs holding intact. Here they come down now. The white flag is up. All eyes watching for the green. There it is. And it looks like it's going to be a clean start on the Ohio River.
And the Tide did not answer the starter's gun. They're still today's racing.
On the inside, it's the T-Plus, driven by Stephen David out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Right next to him in lane number 2, it is the Miss Budweiser.
As Chip Hanauer now straightens it out, goes down the back. No, we've had a spin back there in corner number 2. The T-Plus. Steve David did a complete 360-degree turn. He stoved in his right rear, and he's wiped the tail off. Oh, that's very, very dangerous. And he's trying to restart as they come down now off of corner number 4. And guess what? Same old story. Miss Budweiser on the right. One more left to go. Trying to challenge as they come under the bridge is the Winston Eagle with Mark Tate.
Chip Hanauer in the Miss Budweiser, now aware he has one combatant he has got to be concerned with. That's the Day-Glo Red Boat on the outside, the Winston Eagle. Back in 3rd place, it's the hometown entry, Kellogg's Tony the Tiger Boat from Madison, Indiana, driven by Mike Hansen. There's the Winston Eagle on the outside. Listen to that crowd roar. Chip Hanauer battling deck to deck on the inside with the Day-Glo Red Boat of the Winston Eagle. Mark Tate managing to take about a half a boat length over him.
This is real racing as they come down now in the arcing of corners number 3 and 4. The checker flag is waving. What a drag race coming off that final corner.
To the right of your screen, the red and white boat is the Miss Budweiser. To the left, it is the Day-Glo Red Boat of the Winston Eagle. There's the checkered flag, and Mark Tate takes the win in the Winston Eagle.
And in doing so, sets a new fast lap course record in competition, 151.693. There is your order of finish. The T-Plus did restart and finish 4th.
Well, Mark, I got to say one thing. You believe in your boat.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the crew just gives me a tremendous boat every time out. First heat, we were a little light, real light. This time we were a little light, but in return, you're going to have to run the boat that way to run with Budweiser. And, you know, we got around him. He had to go inside David down there, and I had a nice clean lane on the outside, and that made the race.
2 miles an hour faster every heat. Started out at 147, ended up just on the plus side at 151.
Well, that's a fast heat, and that's probably what it's going to take to win a final. It's just going to be one dogfight out there today.
That's going to be what it takes to break that string, Steve.
That's for sure. But wasn't that a record there, 151?
I'm going to check that out.
It's a competition record. So we're real happy at the Winston Eagle, and Mark, I couldn't be prouder of him.
And he's going to be even prouder because we have confirmed that that is a competition record for the Winston Eagle. So congratulations to that crew. This crowd in Madison, Indiana, as we told you, one of the largest crowds ever assembled in Madison for the unlimited hydroplanes, getting a little extra treat. The OMC Pro Tunnel Tour boats, one of the fastest growing APBA grassroots boat racing classes. Now what you're seeing here are the SST 45s. These boats really race deck to deck, and they are airborne most of the way. There are 2 other classes that get in on this tour, the SST 60s and the SST 100s. Both of those are larger boats. But look how high these boats race out of the water. The fans really enjoying all of the fine action, and they kind of get a little bit of a break here while the Unlimiteds work on their engines and get ready for their next set of heats. But good, honest-to-goodness racing from the OMC Pro Tunnel Tour. They do a great job, and we congratulate them. We'll be back to more unlimited hydroplane racing on the Ohio River when we continue in just a moment. Dick Ribbon and Jim Hendrick back in Madison, Indiana. We told you this is one of the largest crowds ever assembled for this race. This race is a festival-based race, and they look forward to it all year long. What do they like best about it?
Miss Madison.
No, I'm for the Tide. She's for Budweiser.
I like coming down here. The people are a lot of fun.
What's great about Madison Regatta? The party, the people, the girls. Yeah. Definitely the girls. And how?
I like the boat.
What boat are you rooting for?
That.
We'll be back. It's great. And Miss Bud is going to win. No, Miss Tide's going to win. No, we'll see.
I like the heat. I like to see the boats go by. Just a lot of fun. Having the people here, and when our boats get out there and start running, it's just, well, I get goose pimples.
Well, you heard some of the folks refer to the Miss Madison, which, of course, is the Kellogg's Tony the Tiger boat, but a lot of the folks in Madison, Indiana own part of that boat.
Here's a lot of For Heat 2B, Miss Sundeck, American Spirit, Cooper's Express, Miss Rock, the wellness plan has withdrawn for the day.
White flag is up, looking for the green flag now as Mark Evans on the outside, the left of your screen, comes down alongside his brother. There's the green flag. Mitch Evans takes a bit of a lead on the start, but it's going to be Mark Evans in the turbine-powered American Spirit on the outside. They're going to go neck and neck down into the turn. Now remember, the piston packer on the inside, Mitch Evans, probably has a little advantage on the turn because of the handling, the weight of the boat and such. The turbine-powered American Spirit has got to go the longer distance on the outside. American Spirit just takes it by about half a boat length, coming out over his brother in the Cooper's Express, Mitch Evans. But look at Mitch.
We're down to these two boats because the Sun Deck is out of engines. Jack Schaefer Wellness Plan broke a gearbox, and Nate Brown's crew, who worked late into the night at the Madison shop to fix the skid fin on the Miss Rock, they failed to put the sponson plugs in. The boat took on water and couldn't get up on plane.
Well, these two boats are on plane and doing a great job. Here's your checkered flag, and it's American Spirit. Mark Evans takes the win, another step toward that championship heat later this afternoon.
I bet Mom's home freaking out on that one.
But I'll tell you one thing, you and your brother really had a battle there, and I hear one of your crew members kind of spoofed you. They said, hate to tell you this, but your brother beat you out at the last minute.
He did right at the line because I saw Mitch coming up. I thought I better squeeze out a little bit more. He says, way to go, he got you. I thought, oh no, I'm in trouble now.
This is a long way from being upside down underwater last week.
Oh, that's right. This boat's running a lot better, and we had a good cruise. Too bad the rest of the guys could have come out there and joined us, but sure was fun to race with my brother. I like doing that.
Ah, you see happiness there. Well, the Tide boat in Heat 3A made its first start after repairs, along with the Miss T Plus, the Winston Eagle, the Miss Budweiser, and Kellogg's Tony the Tiger boat. It was a walk for the Miss Budweiser. Chip Hanauer took it right off the pole and takes it across to the checkered flag. So Chip Hanauer with more points to that final heat. The Winston Eagle coming in a clean second place. A little bit of a battle, though, back in third. On the inside, it's the Tide boat, and on the outside to the left of your screen, Tony the Tiger takes third place before the hometown. That forces the Tide into the last chance heat. The Miss T Plus had enough points to make it to the championship. They decided to withhold the boat. We'll be back with more racing on the Ohio River from Madison, Indiana in just a moment. Welcome back to Madison, Indiana. We're just moments away from the final championship winner-take-all heat, and it's going to be exciting now in Heat 3B leading up to it. The Evans brothers once again drag racing it out. It was close, but Mark Evans, again in the American Spirit, takes the win. So he has got all his points in line. He will move on to the final race of the day coming up momentarily. Mark Evans, and look at the battle that he put on with his brother Mitch. Mitch has had a good day of racing in the Cooper's Express, and we congratulate that crew. But the winner of Heat 3B, Mark Evans in the American Spirit. Incidentally, this is a great crowd assembled here as they wait in anticipation for the winner-take-all heat coming up. There you can see our camera aboard the Coast Guard cutter. We want to thank the Coast Guard for their cooperation. The last chance heat, the Tide, the Miss Rock, the Miss Sundeck, and the Cooper's Express. The boat that wins in this one will move on to the final.
And it's going to be the Tide, and that's good news for that boat that started out the day very badly. They worked feverishly to put that boat back together. They now will qualify for the final heat.
So George Woods Jr. gets his boat ready back in the pit area, and we get ready for the final race of the day.
For a better part of $100,000 plus prize money, Mark Evans in Lane 2 in American Spirit. Lane 3 will be Miss Budweiser with Chip Hanauer. He'll do battle again with Mark Tate, who is in Lane 4 in the Winston Eagle. Lane 5 will be Mike Hansen. Hometown boat, Kellogg's Tony the Tiger. On the far outside, the battered Tide with George Woods Jr. and the trailer is T Plus with Steve David.
All eyes on the course now go up to the starting tower as they look at the white flag flying. Let's see if they unfurl the green. Here they come. They're lined up, and there it goes. The green flag flies. It is a start. On the inside is the American Spirit. Then the Miss Budweiser mid-screen along with the Winston Eagle boat. Down into turn number 1. Remember, the boats on the outside have to keep a higher speed, but this is a very narrow turn coming out in turn number 2. The Miss Budweiser, Chip Hanauer, has gotten himself the lead. In second place, it will be the Winston Eagle.
And Chip Hanauer looking for a 4th consecutive victory without a defeat. in this RC Cola Hydroplane Series, and this boat, the Winston Eagle, who had set a competition course lap record and heat record earlier, is giving chase with Mark Tate driving.
And I'll bet no one is more aware of those records than Chip Hanauer at this moment. Back in third place, it's going to be the U-50 American Spirit, the boat rebuilt by the Ross Perot for President campaign. There you see the Miss Budweiser coming down underneath the bridge, well aware of those abutments down there and how they can affect the wave action coming back out onto the course. Winston Eagle trying to close it down in second place. Mark Tate's boat holding beautifully to the water. There you see the Tide boat. Now remember, that boat had to have some rebuilding on it done here at the course. It got caught in that rooster tail in lap number 1. Finishing out, there's Tony the Tiger Kellogg's boat. Mike Hansen, he is back in fourth place. He's got a good ride in that boat. He's waiting for any of the front runners to misfire. He'll be ready to move up if he can.
150.050 mile an hour on the first lap for Miss Budweiser, so Chip Hanauer seems to have it all together in Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser.
Now the boat seems to be getting a little bit light, but that's one of the critical factors that the driver and the crew work on throughout the entire race day, balancing these race boats so that they'll ride on the trailing edge of each sponson on either side of the boat and the bottom half of the propeller. Actually, it works out to about the size of a man's handkerchief is the only contact between the boat and the water.
The T-Plus has moved up to fifth place. The Tide, they say, has lost the sponson and is going down in the water.
Meanwhile, the Miss Budweiser coming across the finish line gets the checkered flag. This is the fourth straight event win for Chip Hanauer. There you see owner Bernie Little and his lovely wife Jane. They've got reason to celebrate. There you see the Tide boat. The sponson is off the right-hand side of the boat. George Woods Jr. going down in the water now. Let's see if we can see what happened. This is some home video that was taken by one of the fans here at the race. The boat literally blowing apart on that sponson, and from there on, it's Rip City.
Oh, they've got a lot of damage on that boat, but they're going home after this race. Have a couple of weeks to get ready. We'll be back with an interview with the victorious driver, Chip Hanauer, in just a moment. Back here in Madison, Indiana, the fourth stop in the RC Cola Hydroplane Series 1992 is now history, with Miss Budweiser making it 4 consecutive victories. Let's go down now to the pits and the winning crew.
Well, Chip, is it getting monotonous yet? Winning comes so hard that it never gets monotonous. You learn when you do this long enough that when you have a run like this, you got to appreciate it because it won't last forever. Bernie, that boat performed absolutely flawlessly for you.
Yes, it has. All season long. It's just done outstanding, as Chip has. And I want to tell you, in the second heat, we got beat. Well, Chip told us what we needed to do. We did it. And all he wanted was more power. I didn't think he could use it, but he did.
Yeah, well, he did what he had to do, too. He didn't leave any captives. He went out there right from the start. Well, it was a hard decision. We qualified one boat at 163 and the other at 162. And we decided to go with the more conservative boat, not the faster boat. And I think we made a really good decision.
Well, the fastest boat in the world sitting on the trailer.
Here are the standings through the first 4 races of the year for the Eagle Snacks High Point Series Championships. The top 3 will compete in the old dual shootout in Honolulu, Hawaii. To obtain a media guide stocked full of all the answers you might want to know, contact the Unlimited Racing Commission at 206-467-1368. And so the eastern swing of the RC Cola Hydroplane Series comes to a close here in Madison, Indiana. A couple of weeks off, and I think some of these boats are going to need that time, Dick.
I gave credit to the T-Plus crew for getting the boat into the final heat, and of course to George Woods and his crew with the Tide. Those 2 boats are going to have a lot of work as they continue, but I think the rest of them will be going back to their home shops to tune them up, get them ready, see if they can't get a little bit more speed, and mount a challenge to the dominating Miss Budweiser. 4 in a row. That crew's happy, but they didn't expect it, and they're not going to expect an easy way the rest of the way.
I see the competition getting tougher as we swing toward the West Coast. For Dick Crippen, I'm Jim Hendrick. So long.
The Budweiser Indiana Governor's Cup has been sponsored by RC Cola. Give me the taste of my RC. By Eagle Snacks. Remember, not all snacks are created eagle. And And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. A promotional consideration has been provided by the Ogle House Inn, high on top of the Ohio River in Vevey, Indiana. The Ogle House Inn features beautiful accommodations and great Bavarian dining. 1-812-427-2020. This event is sanctioned by the American Powerboat Association, a production of Cyprus Sports, in association with ESPN.